After Sicily was captured, we had a chance to go there because they were going to invade Italy. And so we left there and flew over to Sardinia. And we were on this airfield, and we see this skylight up, and right above it was Mount Etna. And the old flames were coming out of the top of that. And we were getting our belly tanks in little crates. They were cardboard and wood. And they were probably 2 foot square, and they were about 6 foot long. So it was pretty nice. So we'd take off the end and make a house out of it. We'd sleep in it and put our stuff in it. We used them a lot. So that was our house. And that night we'd just lay out there and watch the old sky light up with fire. The old mountain was spitting out a little lava. Not much. It wasn't exploding like later years it did, but it was a nice scene to see there. And the town was Catania. It's on the east coast. The east coast of Sicily, and we didn't have a chance to get into town at all because we were flying mission after mission, because they were landing at further up the coast of Italy. So it was a busy time for us, and a lot of work. And finally, we got out of Sicily, and they decided at Sicily that then they captured Sardinia, because at the invasion of southern Italy, they freed Sardinia also. So we decided to bomb the city, but before we bombed the airport, the ship docks and all that, and you'd never end up just at the edge of the water. You'd keep on going and go into town. So weeks before that, they leave leaflets. They dropped leaflets and it said that we were going to do this, and give them the date and everything, so they would evacuate the town. And what the Germans did, they wouldn't let anybody out of town. So we bombed and killed a lot of people. So, and then after that, they left Sicily, and we went in there, and the smell of bodies was pretty bad. And at the further end, there was an airfield. The Germans had left there, and so we used that airfield. That airfield was kind of small, and by this time we were getting Italian prisoners, and they were doing our cooking for us. Oh, talk about better eating. Oh, we started getting dehydrated food and spam and all that. Boy, talk about good food. And they made it up for us, and they were very good for us. And it was kind of bad being in Sardinia because the whole island was starving. The Germans wouldn't get the population anything. So they would bring kids into camp, and they had fat bellies and skinny legs, and they were in stage 2 of starvation already, so the doc would take care of them. And so we set up a line at the end of the table, and had garbage cans there, and we put our leftover food in it. And I know a lot of guys who did, when they see that kid, they did throw their whole meal in there, and they made soup for the people in town. So, and the other nice thing was that we give them the flour, and they had these little stoves or little ovens out in the backyard, and they'd cook fresh bread for us. So we give them the flour, and they helped us that way. And then the doctor took care of the sick kids. And one unique thing that happened to us, well, we've got beer there. That's the first time we've had beer. We always had wine. There was always plenty of wine in Africa, and plenty of wine in Sicily and that. So they gave us beer, and so it was nice to have beer the first time. Not much, because I guess the closer you got to the lines, the more they give you cigarettes too. So, and a little treat for us. And this one kid, he must have been 12 years old, 14 in that age, and he came to live with us. And we'd feed him and all that. And, you know, he had a slingshot. He showed what he did. He had a slingshot, and he shoot the birds. He hit the birds. He had a pretty good shot. He light a little fire, and when he got the ashes, when just the ashes left, he throw the bird in there, and he'd burn all the feathers off and everything, and then he'd start chewing on it and eat the whole bird. That's what you do in starvation. So it's pretty good. One incident happened to us. Big Nick, he was our first baseman. He was a pretty big guy. He and I met this family, and we'd go there and drink wine and bring him a few goodies. And he had his family. He was from Sicily, actually, and he treated us pretty. Nick could talk pretty good Italian, so it was pretty nice. And one night, after our session with them, we were walking home, and these two other soldiers come alongside, and they start picking on me because I was small. I told Nick. Nick says, "Tell him to get the hell out." So I told him, "Get away." And they were drunk, and we were pretty well shot too. So this guy swung at me, and I said, "Hey, Nick, these guys want to fight." So I threw my fist at them guys about 2 or 3 times, and after that, I couldn't even lift my arms anymore. I was tuckered out. I hit that guy so many times that I just couldn't, I couldn't maneuver anymore. So Nick comes up there, and the other guy was following him. Nick told him, "Leave him alone." And they kept on fooling around. So Nick hit one guy, knocked him out, knocked him right in the drainage, in the water. Boy, that was something. We went on laughing. So one little incident like that. It's the only time I've ever had an incident with somebody else. I didn't know who it was or anything. It was dark, you know. And all the Italian prisoner of wars were released there too. We had another incident. We went to this little town, and we were going to have a hunting for deer or mountain goat or something like that. So we went in there. We pulled into town, and these people thought we were bringing some food. We didn't have any food with us. That explained that we were going to hunt, and what we hunt, anything we got, we'd give it to them. And they were happy about that, but it was bad. So we went around the ridge with our rifles, you know, we were stuck, and they went in the valley, and they were scaring up the game. And I shot at some mountain goat, and I shot at deer, and I don't know if I hit them or not. And by that time, it was late in the afternoon, and we had to get back, so we didn't hang around very much. And so we left there, got back. And the next day, I see this airplane with one engine shot out. It had feathered the engine. And he started in, and I was at the far end of the island, and there was a brick wall there. And he's coming in about halfway, he runs out of gas. He feathers the other engine, and he lands good. It was a good landing and everything. And as he comes to this wall, he's going to hit that. The wall is about 6 foot high, and it's all stone. It's probably about 5 or 10 feet wide, and it's about 5 feet high or 7 feet high in that neighborhood. And they just put all the stone there, and he's built a wall. So he pulled up his landing gear and crashed. So I run out there, and I am trying to pull him out. He was bloody. His face was bloody. So I tried to pull him out. He couldn't move. He was dead weight. So big red herring comes along. He said, "Let me take him." So he started to pull him out, and he couldn't get him out. And then so I went around the other side, and I grabbed his mic and all that stuff, and I ripped it all off, and I helped him to get out, and we drug him out off the airplane. The airplane was steaming. There wasn't no fire in it, but it could explode. That's the only other thing. And we took him over, and by that time the ambulance was there, and they put him on the ambulance. And never heard anything else about him. But then sometime later in the year, they says, "Here's your medal for that." So I said, "Okay, thank you," and that was it. And I said, "Was it for that?" They didn't know, so I said, "Okay." And so anyway, then another time, about a week later, here goes an airplane in, and he went off the runway, and he flipped, his nose wheel dug in, and he flipped over on his back, and he was underneath there. There must have been 400 or 500 guys trying to lift that airplane up to get him out. And they kept on trying to dig him out and all that, and they weren't having so much sex. Let's lift the tail up anyway, you know. No, leave it alone. So we left alone. I guess he died there. He got choked to death with his stuff around his neck. So felt really bad about that. We couldn't help him. So one of those incidents that happened, and I guess the right people weren't in charge. That's all. They thought they could do something else for him. They couldn't. So then from there, we went to it's either Bari, Italy, or Naples. I don't remember exactly where it was. We took a boat across there. We got there Christmas afternoon. Got in the port Christmas afternoon, and went to the mess hall, and they had closed up. And we tried to have them open that thing. You'd think he would open. This is Christmas afternoon. He would not empty it up. He would not open it up for us. Oh, we were mad. And then they made us work on the boats, unloading boats. The ducks would go out there, and off the boats they'd pick up rationing. There were boxes of cans of food, and then you come through, and they'd put them on another truck from the boat. They put them on the truck, ducks, and they float into the edge, and then they take from the duck. We put them on trucks, and that way we unload the boat. So we decided that we were going to keep some of these rationings because there was remember canned fruit, there was ketchup, there was mustard, there was a lot of stuff. So every time we see certain things we think we'd want to eat, we put it on our truck. And so as soon as we had our truck all full, completely full, the bottom of it, then it was wintertime, so you had these coats and heavy equipment. So we sat like on the floor, and when you went through the checkpoints, they'd pass us through. They didn't even pay any attention to us. But we had the whole bottom of our truck full of number 10 cans of fruit and vegetables. That made us really happy. And then I think it was Bari, because right after that we were at the Bari, and the Germans knocked the heck out of it. They bombed the harbor, and didn't affect us any, but we could have been unloading one of those boats or something like that. So we got out of that, and then we went to Foggia. Foggia is the east coast of Italy, about halfway up. It's on the Adriatic Ocean, next to Greece, and we got there, and there's no food or anything like that, and we got on our trucks, and we went probably a mile through the mud. The mud was the trucks are the ruts are about foot deep. Really, real trucks got stuck. Everything happened around there. We went to eat at the 301st Bomb Group, which was a B-17 outfit. And I run into a friend of mine named Jerby. And he was a tail gunner on a B-17. And he wasn't there very long. He said he was only there 3 months, but he's ready to go home. He had his missions in. He had his 26 missions or something like that, you know. So it was nice meeting him. So, and we had food there, and then we set up our own place. We had a big tent, got a big tent, and got the Italians feeding us. Boy, did we eat like kings with them. And we had plenty of potatoes. We had plenty of stuff, but some of the stuff you couldn't use hardly. We had plenty of coffee. A lot of guys lived on coffee. We start having an operation now in this airfield, and the Germans had used this before, but they didn't have much equipment or barns or anything left on it. They put on this stuff on top of the runway. It's like it's got 3-inch holes in it. They're long plants, about 20 feet long, and they're made of steel. And you hook them together, and that makes your landing pretty smooth. And that's laid right on top of the ground instead of the concrete. They put them in real quick. And one day, Ole and I were walking down the runway, going to work, and this airplane, pretty close above us, he just took off. He was the 301st, and we heard a bang over our head, and we looked up, and the tip of the wings had blown off. And we see 3 chutes open up, 4 chutes. There was 4 chutes that opened up. And we, I said, boy, it's going to be bad, you know. And then pretty soon the airplane starts heading for us here. And we didn't know what to do, which way to run or anything. We didn't do anything. We just stood there and it came pretty close to us, probably a couple 100 feet over our head. And then it kept on going beyond us and blew up. Well, anyhow, I didn't think much of it, but then after the war, I met Olson. He says, from that incident, he was in the psycho ward in Miami for 6 months. He said he couldn't get that off his mind. He thought he had it there. And it didn't affect me. I was lucky. He said it was pretty bad being that psycho ward. So I felt bad for him. Only I were 2 shortest guys in the outfit, so he's a pretty nice guy. So we had a nice time together after the war. He always had riddles and stuff like that, and pretty good. So now we're hard at it at Foggia.